so we can have these things.
Oh,
And so, since we started recording, you may have a pop-up screen on the computer that just says continue or allow. So just make sure you tap that so you can see.
It says
it says
okay.
this meeting is being recorded. I didn't know I was recording.
Just click okay.
Are you okay with that? I just started the recording.
It's not like we can see you.
It's really to capture the class, and it's going to be on me, all the video spotlighted.
Okay. There, you can see my head like that.
Yeah, so if I can see you, it's helpful for me, but whatever you can do with the camera, I know it's a dance.
Okay. Oh.
Okay, awesome. I'm gonna just go ahead and jump right in and just mute everybody so that we have some clear sound. That's me. Okay, I will not mute myself. All right, great. Thank you guys for being here this evening. I'm really excited to share a heart journey, just some movement to help open up the chest and check in with the current states of our hearts, like physically and emotionally. So we're going to begin with just simply checking in, arriving. We are here, beginning movement. And now that we just settled into this moment, we'll just take a moment to, in a comfortable seated position, to just close our eyes and begin to just notice our breath and begin to just check in where we are noticing anything, how our breath is in this moment as we settle into this moment. And with each inhale and exhale, just notice the quality of the breath, noticing if maybe you're feeling it's shallow, maybe you're noticing it's deep, maybe you're noticing you're intaking air in the left nostril or you're intaking air in the right nostril. Just start to notice the quality of your breath in this moment without controlling it or judging it, just noticing it. And bringing your awareness to your chest, to your heart center, just beginning to notice the quality of your heart, checking in with your eyes closed, just bringing your awareness to your heart center, just below your sternum, deep to your chest. Taking a few more deep breaths to just simply notice where you are now, how your heart is, without judgment, simply noticing any qualities, maybe tightness, maybe fluidity and openness, maybe heat. And on the next inhale, we're just going to bring our hands to our diaphragm alongside the ribs. So right now I'm holding the bottom edges of my ribs. The diaphragm lives deep to the underbelly of the ribs and goes all the way through us, much like a balloon, deep to our midline. So we're placing our hands on the bottom edges of our ribs, like we're in a Power Woman, Wonder Woman pose. And we're just going to do a little diaphragm release. When it comes to the diaphragm, a lot of tension gathers here from our breathing patterns of the day, especially of holding the breath patterns. And when we release the diaphragm, we start to release the muscles up in the neck that are secondary breathing muscles and up in the chest. So we're just going to exercise opening up the diaphragm a bit before we go into some movement. So while we hold the bottom edges of our ribs in our Wonder Woman pose, we're going to just compress in slightly and start to squeeze the ribs in. And so we're going to take a big breath in through our nose and expand your diaphragm, opening against your hands, and exhaling through the mouth, pushing in slowly, causing some compression on the ribs and ultimately into the diaphragm. Exhaling completely. And a few more big breaths in through the nose, expanding. Pushing in on the exhale a little bit more. And one more inhale. Expanding. And just allowing your hands to rest for a bit there. And now just kind of a little bit more exploration into the diaphragm before we go on into the upper body, beginning to massage underneath the ribs. So locating the front bottom edges of your ribs and beginning to just slowly see if you can curl under the ribs. So we don't want to stab straight in. We have the stomach over here and the liver here. We just want to meet the rib edge and kind of curl our fingers under the ribs, reaching for the diaphragm muscle. If you find any sort of sticky spots, maybe just take a moment to take a big breath into that while you're holding. You might even like just wander close to just about an inch away from the sternum and then just go down the rib line, just explore for any sore spots underneath that front edge, just hooking under, seeing if you have any sore points. Taking a moment to breathe into them if you find them. And when you get to the floating ribs at the end and you feel separation happening, just back off and come back towards the center line. Helping yourself release gas. This is a good technique for that. You maybe just rubbing it just a little bit on the ribs, just giving your intentional love to the diaphragm. Okay, so we're just going to warm up before we go into some deeper movements. So we're just going to warm up all the directions of the spine that we have. So we're just going to start with just some side bending and reaching the arm, inhaling up and exhaling and just kind of sinking in, noticing when you're reaching through your fingertips that we create even more of a pull deep to the shoulder, deep to the side body, maybe adjusting our shoulders to where they're a little bit more paralleled and we're closer to going over the ear with our arms. Deepening the side body stretch and inhaling up And just swimming to the other side. And just a few deep breaths. Same idea here, reaching through the fingertips, really opening up that side body, noticing where you're feeling any stiffness, expanding through the diaphragm, through the ribs. On the next inhale, coming up. And just take it a moment to come into a twist. So just reaching perhaps your right hand towards your left knee and coming into a twist. And while we twist, really make it a point to keep your chest lifted towards the sky. And a few deep breaths. And when you're ready, inhaling back to center and just going to the other side. We're just exploring all the ranges of the spine. So now we're in the twists. Maybe reaching that left hand towards the right knee to help yourself get a little bit of a deeper range without forcing, just meeting your edges here. Keeping the chest lifted. And on the next inhale, just allowing yourself to come back to center and taking a moment to just lean back to where I have my fingers kind of at an angle pointing back towards the wall behind me, and just here opening the chest just a little bit, kind of just playing with just rocking into this expression with the clavicle becoming long, the shoulders drawing back, squeezing your rhomboids together so your shoulders are coming together a bit in the back. And then coming out of this, we're going to explore the forward motion of the spine with a little bit of a meridian exercise. So this is actually for the pericardium, which is just another level within the heart. So this stretch is going to be opening our hands wide and coming around and reaching one hand in front of the other. Let's say the right goes in front first, around your legs, around your knees, and coming down, allowing your head to drop forward so you're hugging your knees. And take a few deep breaths here, letting the head become heavy. So you're feeling this stretch all the way through your neck and perhaps down your back, and taking a deep breath, opening through your chest here while we're in this flexed position. This helps cause a deep release, deep to the cavity around the heart. We're holding ourselves, dropping in. And slowly, when you're ready, on the next inhale, lift yourself up. And switch arms. So we'll come back down, and this time bring your left arm in front and your right arm underneath. So we're going back down. And allowing the head to drop forward and in, flexing. Taking a big deep breath, sinking. This is also good mental gymnastics for our brains. It causes our left and right hemispheres to begin to interplay more coherent brain and more coherent heart as we open up the pericardium in this way. Continue to take big, deep breaths, opening the chest cavity, allowing your head to drop forward a little bit more on each exhale, feeling that stretch in your neck. Perhaps you're noticing some heat release or come forward. Breathing into it. And on the next inhale, just slowly lift yourself back up. And then bringing our hearts on the exhale back to center here at bring our hands back to the heart center. And we're going to do a little bit more swimming here. So we're going to inhale up. And exhale, bringing the arms back and forward. This is as if we're doing a cow posture. We're arching, we're reaching the chest up, and we're arching the low back slightly, reaching forward, and then allowing the head to come back slightly, and then inhaling back up. And back to heart center. And one more time up and breathe in. Breathe out. Perhaps you release your jaw when you open up the head as well. We're extending the head back, opening the mouth. And breathe in. Hands go up. And back to heart center. And one more time before we change another direction, breathing in and up. And swimming into this open posture, opening the shoulders, arching the low back slightly as we reach the chest up and forward, releasing the jaw. And inhale up. In a different direction here, same idea. We're going forward, so inhale forward. And this time we're doing a cat. So we're arching, pulling the core into your low back, arching forward. And inhale, open. And exhale, forward. Center. And inhale, find your own rhythm here. Start to follow your breath. Inhale forward, arching, curling the core in and opening. And exhale forward, curling the core in, coming back to center. And one more time, just swimming, finding your own rhythm. Inhaling forward. And back, arms in front and back to center. Right. So we're just kind of warming up, checking in with the quality of our chest, hopefully already feeling some warmth perhaps from this movement in the upper chest and beyond. So now we'll go ahead and just kind of find ourselves in fetal position. So begin to just take yourself down to the floor. And we're going to start to kind of meet the heart as it were in conception, when it began to beat at 5 weeks. And as we formed in the womb, we'll just kind of meet this posture. Perhaps grab a pillow, something for underneath your head while you lay on the side lying position. And ultimately drawing your knees up very close to your chest. So we're coming into fetal position. And perhaps resting your top arm around your knees. And kind of just take a moment to land in this position, holding your knees if that's available. Just drawing your knees up as close to your chest as you can get them to be in fetal here, like in a ball. Simulating just a a womb experience, the first place where we came in contact with our beating heart. And just take a moment to land here and notice your heart now. Always just checking in with your breath, just noticing where your breath is and how you are in this moment. Inside in your heart, through your breath, coming into our bodies more and more. And slowly we'll just begin to rock ourselves onto our backs, where we'll continue to hold our knees and just beginning to just roll from side to side in this fetal position, taking off pressure from the low back by drawing the knees to the chest and just rolling from side to side. And when you're ready, you just slowly allow yourself to land back on your side and keep on rolling all the way to your stomach. And from this point, we're going to start having some fun with some gentle yet deep opening of the pecs and the front chest. So go ahead and place your arms in a T as you lay on your belly. And so your feet, and from this point, go ahead and take your left hand and place it next to your shoulder, just below it and just off to the side to help stabilize. Here, we're going to slowly just lift with our left hand and start to roll up onto our right shoulder where we're meeting the edge of the shoulder and the clavicle. So we're starting to notice the pec muscle is being accessed, and slowly perhaps keep swiveling up onto the pec where we're rolling onto the right shoulder, opening the front chest, stabilizing with the left hand. And if your head feels like it's dangling, perhaps add a pillow. Eventually, just deepening it by opening up the whole side body to where your right hip is stacked with your left and you're on the side of your right body. Just noticing a stretch in the pec or perhaps in the back shoulder. On the exhale, slowly roll yourself back down till you're flat on your stomach. And we're going to just roll to the other side. So extending the left hand out straight, perpendicular to the body, using the right hand just next to and below your shoulder to help lift yourself. To where you can roll onto your left side and start to notice any sticky points, any points of tension in the shoulder. And again, perhaps you need to use a pillow to support your head if you feel like it's dangling in this position. And feel free to play a little bit, maybe roll and rock on that left shoulder, noticing really the opening in the deep pec in the shoulder where the clavicle and the shoulder come together. And slowly on the exhale, rolling back to the stomach. And this time, extending out the right arm perpendicular to the body and rolling. And before we begin to roll, maybe perhaps we get this a little bit of a deeper stretch and we stabilize with our left hand, and we can take our left leg and start to lift our left leg and place the foot down towards the floor behind the body. So just deepening the stretch a little bit more. If that's not available, just continue to roll onto your right side body and just rock into the shoulder and the side body. And if you have the leg opened and behind you, then just take some deep breaths into that opening of the shoulder. It's a little bit deeper here. Just peeling off our pecs using gravity. With each exhale, drop in a little bit more. Remember, there's no dead limbs, so notice the contact of the right hand on the floor as we're reaching without much effort, but just noticing that we are engaging slightly that hand contact with the right hand as it's stretching the right shoulder. And slowly on the next inhale, unwind yourself to where you're back on your belly. And reaching out the left, extending the left hand perpendicular. Once more, using the right hand to stabilize and rolling ourselves onto the left body, or perhaps taking the left leg and opening it towards the sky and bringing the right foot behind the left leg, placing it flat. So we're getting a little bit of a deeper stretch into the pec here and perhaps feeling it in the rhomboids and behind the shoulder as well. Using a pillow to prop your head if you feel like your head is out, just flailing. Continue to take deep breaths into the shoulder. Noticing the contact of the left hand on the floor. No dead parts. And on the next inhale, unwinding the leg or perhaps just rolling back onto your belly. And from here, placing our hands just below our shoulders and just taking yourself up into a gentle cobra on the inhale. And on the exhale, lifting yourself off the mat, coming into puppy pose, which looks something like child's pose, but we're going to keep our bums in the air and reach our chest down towards the mat. Take a few deep breaths here. And on the next inhale, slowly lifting, curling your back, curling your core back to your back. So we're just squeezing our glutes and rolling ourselves back down to the mat where we're laying on our bellies. And then from here, inhaling into cobra. And exhaling into puppy pose. Taking a few more moments. Waking up the length of the back as we open the chest in all of these various angles, giving space to the heart. On the next inhale, curling your pelvis in and your core in, squeezing the glutes, slowly lowering yourself, controlled, back down to the mat. And on the next inhale, bringing up a little bit further into up dog. Squeezing the glutes, allowing yourself to be supported as you reach your chest to the sky and reach through the palms of your hands. Everything's active, the glutes, And slowly on the next inhale, bringing yourself back up to where we're coming into tabletop. And so in here in tabletop, we're going to keep on opening the shoulder joint. We're going to thread the needle. So on the inhale, we're going to lift the left hand up towards the sky and swing it through the right arm and the leg, coming through, threading the needle where we should find our left cheek on the mat and our left shoulder going into a flexed position, heavy rest with gravity. And just take a moment to meet this twist and this deep opening for the back shoulder muscles, the rhomboids, the traps. We're opening up our wings, creating space in the back body for our front chest, which is very key for how we can maintain an open chest and a spacious heart and a happy heart. Take a few more deep breaths here. And on the next inhale, slowly shift your weight into your right hand and lift that left hand out of the hole and back up to the sky. And once more, bring it down and through. We're flossing here. So the left arm's going back through the hole with the right arm and the right leg and resting into that left shoulder. Perhaps you want to find a little more depth in your shoulders opening. So we lift the right hand to the sky. And perhaps you want a little bit more. So we bring our right hand down at the reaching towards the left hip behind our back. And wherever you found yourself, just begin to slowly unwind and bring your right hand towards the floor, making contact, stabilizing, slowly lifting on the inhale, back up, unwinding, opening the left hand back to the sky. And finding tabletop once more. So here we are in tabletop again. And just taking a few moments before we do the other side to just do a few cat-cows, just to polish the spine here. Exhaling, core is coming in. We're arching, hands are planted, we're flexing, we're feeling the ground, and inhaling into cow, extending the head, opening the length of the spine, tilting the pelvis forward, and curling in. And curling out. Inhaling as we extend. And eventually just finding ourselves back at tabletop. And now we're going to thread the needle on the other side. So slowly begin to notice the weight in your left hand and raise your right arm to the sky. And on the exhale, swing that right hand through your arm and through your leg, in that hole, threading the needle. And just resting for a moment into this position as we open the shoulders and the deep back. Perhaps using a blanket or a pillow under your head if you feel any strain happening with the neck. Right. Extending that right hand so our fingertips are flat on the earth. And still in the posture, just noticing the position as we rest into it. And on the next inhale, placing your weight, pouring your weight into your left hand, inhaling, lifting, unwinding the right arm, coming right arm to the sky. And inhaling or exhaling back down and through once more, threading the needle. Same side. This time finding a little bit more depth, perhaps reaching the left arm to the sky. Perhaps looking for a little bit more depth, we can start to bend at the elbow on the left arm and bring our left hand down towards our right hip behind our backs. If it's available, or just leaving the hand up to the sky. Both of them will help open up that line of force along the front chest. Taking a few more deep breaths here. And slowly on the next inhale, slowly unwinding, bring that hand, wherever it is, make the left hand making its way down to the mat, palm on the ground, and left hand starting to pour the weight into it as we lift and unwind that right arm back to the sky and back to the mat. And once again, just taking the time to do just a couple cat-cows, just acknowledging this deep twist. So now we're just going to flex and extend, polish the spine. And slowly reaching your bum back towards your heels, making your way into child's pose, extending the arms forward, reaching forward as you drop your bum back towards your heels. And we just did some very subtle, very deep stretches in the shoulders. So take this time to just notice in child's pose any sensations going on deep to the shoulders, in the chest, down the arms, in the neck. Just notice with each breath any sensations that are coming up for you. Letting go of any stories and just simply noticing how your body is in this moment as we continue to open the space around the heart. Thank God for notes. So from child's pose, I'm remembering we're going to actually, in child's pose, reach our arms behind our backs and wrap your thumbs together. So we're holding the thumbs on either hand, wrapping them together behind our backs in child's pose. And if I don't know if some of you are familiar with rabbit's pose, but essentially what we're going to do here in child's pose with our hands behind our back and our thumbs wrapped together is we're going to slowly lift our arms behind our back and allow yourself to roll onto the top of your head and just allow yourself to kind of play here a little bit, rolling on the top of the head while the arms are reaching behind you and up towards the sky. Nice little head massage. Noticing any sore points, breathing into them and just rolling through them. Just playing. And if the head proves too sensitive, then just resting your forehead and just allowing your arms to draw back a little bit more towards the sky, clasping. Big deep breath, opening from the inside out, expanding the chest, expanding the diaphragm. And on the exhale, allowing the arms to come back down towards your bum. And bringing the arms down by your sides so that your palms are facing the ceiling and you're just resting your whole arm next to your legs in this child's pose creation. And from here, we'll just slowly lift ourselves up to where we're in hero's pose. So we're just sitting on our shins or whatever feels comfortable. So if you want to shift to your sit bones or wide leg, whatever feels best here. And go ahead and begin to locate your strap as you make your way into the seated position. And once you have your strap, we're going to just continue to just play and notice the variations of the shoulder joint. So I would say go ahead and find just past shoulders width on the strap and hold the strap just like this with your, just as if you're going to be holding a steering wheel, but we're holding the strap. And we're just gonna, let's see. And if it's available to you, maybe having a slight angle to where our wrists can be straight, in line with our arms, our forearms. So you'll notice that the hands kind of go out at an angle a little bit on the strap. And just beginning to play here. So we're just going to continue to notice the depth of the shoulder joint. We inhale when we lift. And we're gonna just go a few rounds at your own pace. Just begin to notice your range here while holding the strap. And playing with the length, perhaps you want to go a little bit wider or a little bit closer. Wider is a little awkward, but definitely I feel some variations that are helpful. And here, beginning to notice any tender spots as you go along or any tight spots, anything pulling in the shoulder joint. And when you start to notice those spots, take a moment to pause in those spots and see about just starting to lead into them, maybe one direction. So just starting to really meet the sticky points with a deeper opening. So anywhere that you may notice perhaps side bending, anywhere you notice the sticky points, kind of leaning into them or away from them. And just starting to see, maybe adding a little bit of a twist. I'm getting a deeper opening in my right pec by side bending and slightly twisting back. And just playing, just moving around, looking for these sticky points. Any numbness or tingling, just kind of back off that edge. And perhaps coming back to a neutral point where our arms are just straight up and just kind of playing with a twist. And inhaling forward as we twist, exhaling in the full expression of the twist, inhaling forward as we twist, and exhaling in the full expression. And changing the angle that we're going to floss the shoulder joint. Now we'll go ahead and just take the strap and grab on to the top end with our left hand. And take our right hand behind our back. And allow the hand to come up as far as it can in between the shoulders, and then grab the strap. And from this point, begin to pull the right arm down so that the right arm is engaging and the left arm is being stretched. And we're feeling this deeper opening in the shoulder and the front shoulder, deep into the neck. And then begin to play with this one. So slowly engage the left, lifting up, pulling the right arm with you, and back down. So we're flossing this range in the shoulders. Always taking it to the edge, wherever you notice it's tension or shaky, meet that point. Meet that point with a deep breath. Building strength at these edges. And when you're ready, slowly letting go of that bottom hand, the right hand, letting it relax, dropping the left arm, letting it relax, maybe just shaking out the arms a bit before we do the other side. And slowly taking the strap in our right hand. So this time the right hand's on top, reaching down, and the left hand comes up behind, and the left hand reaches as far as it can, making its way millimeter by millimeter between the shoulder blades, and grabbing a hold of the strap. And slowly pulling down, opening that right shoulder in the front towards the neck and deep inside, up above the clavicle. And engaging the right arm, lifting the left. Always breathing. And beginning to floss. So just pulling down with the left, pulling up with the right. Meeting any weak point with the breath. Just take a moment. If it's shaky, if it feels weak, if it feels like blood is rushing in, if even a little bit of tingles is okay, just fall into it and take a deep breath. And if the tingles persist and become more, then back off. But if it's just a little bit, this is also blood sensation opening into the arms. And slowly allowing the arms to rest. And once again, just kind of free flowing, just noticing the range in your shoulders. Maybe noticing the quality of your heart. And take this time to dance in these ranges. Okay, we're going to come into some of the last poses here. So this next one, we're just going to make our way to our butt where we're sitting on our sit bones and our knees are bent and bringing our heels towards our bum and reaching our hands around our shins. We're going to grab our wrist and rock back onto your sacrum. And if you feel, as you meet this point, just notice your core engaging. But the key is making sure you're holding the wrist right at the hand, right where the hand meets the forearm. And ultimately, on your sacrum, it becomes easier to balance when we hold the wrist in this way. And this is called the cosmic egg. This is another, just a fantastic way to cause flexion, and you can even drop your head in forward. And this is when I find that our heart center, or where we've reached a state of overwhelm, this position will cause ease to the heart center, take pressure off the heart by flexing into the tension patterns and reducing the pulling. Taking a few deep breaths here, just breathing into everything we just opened, noticing the back body maybe opening a little bit more. And slowly allowing the feet to come back to the earth and letting the hands become unclasped. We're just going to take a little bit of an activation. So reaching your hands towards the balls of your feet, and we're holding the balls of our feet and we're just creating a little pump. So as we reach our hands either on our toes or on the balls of our feet, we're causing a pump where we're pushing down with your feet only, just pushing down with your feet towards the earth. And since it's nighttime, we only do a little bit of these. This is a good thing to do, especially in the morning, to help wake up the kidneys. But today we just want to activate a little bit of the back now that we've done all these deep openings without too much invigoration so we can sleep well. And from this point, we're going to go into a pose that my mentor named Eleonora actually created. This is called the cliffhanger. So this is a very good movement for opening the chest in a flexion and extension position. What we're going to do is find ourselves in a seated position, feet flat, hands, fingers pointed towards the feet, and slowly placing your weight into your hands. We're going to lift our bums and bring it closer to our heels and play with this variation. We're going to slowly go down where it's like a tricep dip, and we're dropping. We're curling our pelvis in, and we're just dropping into our shoulders, rolling forward. And if it's too intense, then scoot your bum a little bit more away from your heels. And if you want more, scoot your bum a little bit closer to your heels. Where you should be feeling this, where your scapula, the wings on your back, are lifting off. And then on the inhale, we extend and we lift ourselves up to where now we're doing tilting our pelvis forward, coming into like a cow position, and we're extending, lifting through the chest, inhaling, and exhaling down, dropping into the tricep dip. And inhaling. And there's no dead limbs here, so reaching through the palms of your hands, extending through the wrists, extending through the chest. And one more time, maybe changing your position a little bit with your bum to your heels, either further or further away to cause ease and closer to the heel to cause depth. Then we drop into the tricep dip. allowing the chin to chest, and inhaling, extending, tilting the pelvis forward, reaching through the palms, all the way through the arms to the shoulders, reaching through the chest, extending the head back. Opening our hearts to the sky and slowly lifting off your hands back onto your bum. And one more time, coming into cosmic egg, grabbing hold of a wrist and placing your arms around your shins, lifting your feet off the ground, finding your sacrum. And now here's come a bit of nap time for us. We're going to slowly make our way into restorative fish pose and then savasana. So looking for some pillows. We're going to make our way to our backs, but first we'll locate a few pillows and perhaps stack them. It's going to be like a gentle fish opening. So just making some significant height for you to lay back onto. And as you find the pillows, we're going to just slowly make our way back onto the pillow, opening our palms to the ceiling and allowing the arms to rest, allowing the head to rest. Just a gentle chest opening, just meeting the depth that we just created in all of these movements and exercises through flexion and extension and twisting and beyond. We're going to lay here for about 3 minutes. Just take this time to settle in. Take a few deep breaths and begin to notice the depth of space around your chest cavity, around your heart. Sinking into the support beneath you, opening your chest slowly. Today I learned the fact that the heart has a magnetic field that's about 100 times greater than the brain. So we can feel, which I believe most of us know this, but it's so interesting in terms of science that it's been proven that we actually feel the heart's field at least 3 feet outside of our bodies from the sheer, just, I don't know the words, magnitude of the magnetic field that the heart emits. So as we lay here, just tune in to this deep sense of the heart, the space we've created, and how it is in this moment. Maybe even just beginning to emanate love through our cells, from our heart. Maybe this love field is extending beyond this room. Maybe this love field is extending to our animals, our beloveds in the house, to our family at a distance, to those who need it most. Wonder how far the love field can emit. Take a few more big, deep breaths here. And we're going to slowly roll to your side to just allow yourself to come off the pillows just enough to scooch them out of the way in order to come into Savasana, laying on our backs. Or if it feels better for you today, perhaps rolling onto your side and using a pillow to lay in fetal position for Savasana. Whatever feels best. I'm going to come and put some sound on for our Savasana experience. And just continue to lay and rest.
School spirit is to be proud of where you come from. Camaraderie, energy, family. Tenure.
slowly go, hello. And slowly just make our ways into our bodies once more, noticing where we are in space, in our rooms, checking in, starting with your fingertips coming in, feeling our limbs, maybe having a little bit of movement. Yeah. Slowly making your way to a seated position when you're ready. Thank you guys for joining me in heart exploration and beyond. I hope this serves you well for rest and uh, just come into contact with deep space around the heart. And namaste.
Thank you.
Yes.
Good
Thank you.
night.
Good night. Sleep good.
You too.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shelby.
You're welcome. I'm so happy you guys joined again.
Apologize for the delay this morning at the beginning.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, it worked well. I hope that you get a good rest. I want to ask you, how is your energy level with that sequence?
That was good. That was good. I think it was, I could feel it opening, you know how I work hunched over all day. So it was a plus for me.
Beautiful.
I don't know about mom. She's got shoulder issues, so she might be complaining tomorrow that she's a bit sore, but that's all right. It's good for her.
Little by little, the sword is
It's the same
changing.
for you. Yeah, I
The
bet.
new relationship to the sensation. Okay. Well, I'll sign off here and I'll see you soon, I hope.
Yep.
I'm excited
Yeah,
for
I need
Bianca
to.
coming in.
Yeah, you need to come out and visit.
Yes.
I'm gonna be getting a sauna.
Oh, okay, I'm coming. We can do like a whole we could do like a wellness day with maybe we can get Veronica and Bianca there too and just do like a wellness day of delight.
That would be
Like
lovely.
yoga and sauna and dance and whatever we want.
That would be lovely.
And I want to see this room you're in. I'm excited for what y'all have done with the basement.
Oh yeah, the exercise / yoga space and the rec room on the other side, and then Bianca's gonna be in the apartment on this side.
Sweet.
Tons of fun. Mom, you're still on camera. Don't, don't be getting naked yet.
Oh, a good thing I'm still spotlight. I guess I don't even know how to stop the recording, so we're just out here.
You'll have to edit it later.
Yes, that'll be the fun stuff. Okay, good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.